Okay. So let's begin today just wherever you feel most comfortable. So if that's seated, great, nice long spine, propped up, maybe something under the hips. If it's lying down, if that feels good to begin your practice, you're welcome to come into any posture that feels comfortable. Could be anything else that I didn't mention, maybe child's pose, maybe legs up the wall, anything at all. So take time to just find that place of comfort where we can take a moment at the beginning of our practice to connect inwardly, really arrive to our practice in our space so that we can make the most from this next 50 minutes or so together. The time that you've set aside for yourselves from what might be a busy day, for your self-care, just for your well-being is so important. So let's take time to really arrive so we can benefit fully. Allow your awareness to just focus on your present moment experience, whatever that may be. Noticing how you're arriving on your mat this morning. Maybe you notice the way your breath is deep or shallow or just very subtle and hardly even noticeable. Maybe you notice a little bit of tension or tightness in the neck and shoulders. So just draw your attention to that area. Soften. Maybe you carry tension somewhere else, maybe the belly or the hips. Just scan through the body and see what you might find, how your body's talking to you this morning, what it wants to let you know. Notice if you're arriving on your mat this morning, maybe at the end of the work week, feeling rested, maybe a little tired and depleted. Check in with the body and the emotions now as well. We're really just about being aware and not judgmental about what we find. Let's take some deeper breaths now. And you might connect hand to the heart space and hand to the belly. Or you might feel your breath a different way, maybe with a mind's eye traveling, following the breath in and down and up and out. I'll stop talking for a moment or two and you can just feel your breath or listen to it or connect with it, however you like, as you deepen and lengthen those inhales and exhales. Some people like to add a count to their inhales and exhales. Take another full round of breath, deepen breath. And then allow your breathing to be natural. Just allow it to be where it naturally wants to go. But maybe you notice the effect of the breath on the body and the mind here. Maybe you notice that the relaxed body also brings ease and spaciousness to the mind. So maybe there's been a slight shift, maybe not. But sometimes as we try to melt away physical tension from the body with the breath, our minds tend to become a little bit more clear. And then we can better equip ourselves to handle the day's events, week's events. So now that the body and the mind might be a little bit more relaxed, it's a good time to consider an intention. It doesn't need to be too serious. It can be just the first thing that comes to your mind. Maybe what qualities you want to experience during this practice and beyond, tomorrow, the week ahead. Maybe the most important qualities that you value and you intend to live by. Just take time to connect to an intention here. A moment of self-reflective consciousness. And then let's take a deep breath in. Fill the lungs, sigh out anything heavy. And let's take another deep breath in and raise the arms high if you're seated. If you're lying down, you can kind of, as if you're making a snow angel. Exhale, lower the arms. A couple more times. You can move the arms as if you're making a snow angel with your arms if you're lying down. And if you're seated, raise the arms and lower them with the breath. One more time, inhale, reach high. And exhale, release the hands. If you'd like to make your way up to a seat, if you happen to be lying down, do that now. And from a seated posture, nice tall spine. Just, if you want to, the eyes can still be closed here. Let's just dip the right ear towards the right shoulder. You can extend your left arm out if you like, and fingertips can point up or they can point down. That right hand might float up and just rest lightly above your left ear, almost pulling away rather than drawing the ear closer to your shoulder, almost pulling up and away there, lengthening the neck. And then release the hands to the lap, roll your head forward, semicircle so that your left ear comes towards your left shoulder. And you can take any variation here that was suggested on the other side, whatever works for you. And it might be the same as the other side, or it might be different. We just want to be gentle with ourselves. Really listen to our bodies during today's practice. We're not always symmetrical. Very rarely. So one side doesn't have the same mobility as the other side. We don't want to force anything. And then release the hands back to the lap. Just find some neck movement here. Maybe continue with those semicircle rolls forward, maybe full neck rolls. Or maybe any other movement through the neck, looking over one shoulder and then the other, gazing up to the sky and then down, chin to chest. And bring the neck back to neutral. Bring the spine nice and long, the crown reaching tall. Let's take the soles of the feet together in your seated cobbler's pose or your butterfly pose. Again, find that length in the spine, and if it's not ease filled, then you can always just prop up under the hips. That'll help you Get nice and tall here. So you can take your hands to the big toes, 2 fingers to the big toes. You can take your hands to your feet, thumbs to the inside, sort of peel the soles open as if you want to lift them so they're facing the sky. And then lean forward with a long spine. Any amount is fine. And if you have a block nearby and you want to come all the way forward, forehead to that block for support, that's an option. Unwind and come back to a tall seat. Let's lengthen the right leg out and keep that left knee bent so the sole of the left foot's going to connect there to your inner right thigh. We'll start with a side bend to the right. So right arm can just slide down that right leg, left arm reaching up and over. Taking it gently here. This is a big stretch and it's early in our practice, so it doesn't need to be your biggest stretch. Just stop at that point where you're feeling a gentle opening, kind of that point between effort and ease. Let's engage the core, draw back up. Place the left hand behind your hip and then sweep the right arm up. We're going to rise up onto that left shin and right foot, so you can ground that right foot. You can also keep the hips grounded. You don't have to lift right up. You can reach long with that right arm, keeping the hips grounded. Open up a little bit more, almost as if you're finding a bit of a back bend. And then we'll find a seat again. Keep the legs as they are and just take your torso to turn to face that long right leg. And we'll lean forward here, just walking the hands on either side of your leg as you lean forward. Again, a block could be handy here for your forehead. You can even just set it on top of your knee or your shin. Walk the hands back up. And then let's switch legs. So left leg or lengthen right sole, the foot comes to the inner left thigh. We'll take a side bend first, as we did on the other side. So leaning to the left, right arm reaching long, past your ear. You're using your core strength here as well, lowering down and lifting, but also holding in this position. Focus on that core. Think about stacking the shoulders. And then engage through your core as you rise up. Use your right hand to help lead. And then the right hand's going to come behind your right hip. Sweep the left hand up. Reach long past your ear. Coming up, rising up if you like onto your right shin. Grounding your left foot. Finding a nice long stretch. And then maybe taking it to a little bit of a back bend, rotating open a little bit more. And release back to that seat. Legs stay as they are. Face your long left leg and walk forward, finding a forward fold. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Really send the breath if you're into this, sending the breath with your mind's eye to areas where you feel tightness can really, it does something. Help you release tension. And then we'll walk our way back up. We'll bring the hands behind and lean back slightly. Bend the knees. We'll take the feet a little wider than hip distance. And just swish the knees from side to side. Let's go one more time each side. And then let's find a reverse tabletop. So feet are going to come about hip distance. You might walk them in a little bit. The idea here is we're going to lift the hips and find ourselves sort of keeping the shoulders and the knees about parallel. So nice opener for the shoulders. Strength move for your glutes and your hamstrings, your quads. Take another big breath in and out. And then we'll sit back down, finding a boat pose here. And if you do have a block, you can have that nearby. If you don't, that's fine too. So take a minute to set yourself up, finding your sit bones and your tailbone there, sort of balance. And then I like to lift my shins parallel to the mat, but take a moment just to hold behind the knees, to draw the chest forward and find some length in the spine. And then sometimes I just stay here. If you want to, you can stay right here, or you can release your hands. We'll take 2 breaths like this, and then take some time for some twisting, some oblique work. So if you have that block nearby, grab it, hold it lengthwise between your palms. If you don't, just imagine, or you can grab a pillow, or you can just imagine you're holding a block and twist to the right, tap that block down, or your right hand back to center, twist to the left, tap the block down, come back to center. Just carry on here, just remembering that long spine and remembering your breath. So abs are working, but hip flexors are really working in this one too. Let's go 2 more times each side. And then we'll set the block aside, release the feet to the ground, and then come forward, wrap your arms around your shins. Tip your chin towards your chest. Take a couple of breaths. Let's come to a tabletop position now. So find those right angles of your wrists are beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. Let's find some cat-cow movement here. Breathing in to open through the heart and the throat, lifting the tailbone, and then breathing out, rounding the spine, coming into that angry cat shape. Just carry on. Any variation of cat-cow is welcome. Any gentle spinal movement that you can link with your breath can be really beneficial. And it's kind of fun sometimes to get a little creative or intuitive with this. So you can kind of slither like a snake or round, move the torso around, take some big hip circles as you move through the spine or come back and forth from child's pose to table, moving through the spine. Last one, each direction. And let's come to stillness. We're going to raise the right leg behind, so lengthen it behind you, and then bring the heel up. Doesn't need to come too high because we're going to try to keep the hips level, parallel to the mat. And take a moment just to feel into the strength of this pose. And again, with your mind's eye, thinking about your core, glute, your hamstring. Science tells us that the more we think about muscles that are contracting and working, the more efficiently they work. And then bend into that right knee. Breathing in, look up, stamp that right foot, press it up as if you want to stamp it on the ceiling. Exhale, round the spine, draw the knee towards the chin. Inhale, gaze up, press the sole of the foot high. Exhale, round. Let's do that 2 more times. And then extend the leg long, bring the toes down to the mat, long behind you, and just take about 3 or 4 rocks back and forth. And then bring the right knee to meet the left. Take any little movement you need, shifting the hips, and then send the left leg back when you're ready, picking the heel up to hip height, finding length and strength in that right leg, glute, core. And then we'll bend the left knee. Breathing in, opening up the heart and pressing the leg up, sole of the foot stamping on the ceiling, exhaling around the spine, knee toward the chin. Inhale and exhale 2 more times. And extend the leg behind you. Lower those toes to the earth, and with that long leg, just pulse back and forth a few times. And then we'll come back to tabletop. Keeping the hips over top of the knees, we're going to walk the hands forward and find our puppy pose. So nice opener for the mid and upper back. Take a few breaths here. You can bring forehead to the earth or forehead and forearms. You might bring your chest and chin down. You can use props for this one too. Something soft under the forehead. And then let's slowly slide forward, coming into our Sphinx pose. A little bit more for the lower back here. Just find the angle that works best for you. You can start with your elbows underneath your shoulders, or you can walk the hands forward a little bit more. This depends on how you're feeling today in your practice. So reach up through the crown, thinking about a nice long spine here. And then let's lower down. This time, rise up and reach your arms forward. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bend the elbows, reach up or rise a little higher. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, bend the elbows, draw the hands back out to the shoulders. Reach forward. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the hands back with the inhale. And exhale, reach forward. Place the palms under the shoulders. Let's come back through tabletop. Take the knees wide and find a child's pose. 2 breaths. And then we'll come back to our tabletop, coming to our first downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, take the tailbone high, explore here for 3 or 4 breaths, finding any movement that feels good, and just give a little nod and a shake of the head. So we're reminding ourselves to find that release, the upper spine, no need to hold the head. And then let's find stillness in our downward dog. Tailbone tilting up to the sky. Heels pressing back, arms reaching long in front. Let's rise up high onto the toes with an inhale. And then exhale, press the heels back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, high on all 10 toes. Exhale, release. Look to the top of your mat. Let's walk or step forward. Ragdoll pose. So feet maybe hip distance or even wider. Upper body releasing, relaxing there. Hinge from the hips. Any amount of bend in the knees is fine. Maybe swaying, grasping opposite elbows with opposite hands. And let's find stillness and come to a halfway lift. So breathe in, lengthen the spine. Hands can come to the shins. Fold as you breathe out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's place the left hand just in front of the feet, sort of centered there. Bend into your left knee and twist to the right. So raise your right arm up. Maybe look to the right wall or up towards your right hand. And then bring the right hand down. We'll just place it where the left hand was. We'll bend into the right knee. And when you're ready, twisting to the left, reaching your left arm high. Gazing wherever works for your neck, maybe up towards that left hand. And release the hand back down. We'll take one more halfway lift. So with your inhale, come to a halfway lift. And bow, exhale. Let's rise all the way to stand. So bending the knees, just unwinding slowly. Not too fast, we don't want to get lightheaded. Arms come high. Then exhale, cactus the arms. Nice heart opener here, squeezing the shoulder blades. Bring the arms high as you breathe in. And then settle them to the heart, palms together with your exhale. We're going to move through a few sun salutations. So just flowing with the breath here. Breathing in, reaching the arms high. Exhaling to fold forward. Finding a halfway lift, lengthen and breathe in. Forward fold, palms ground to the earth. Step back to your plank. Might be from the knees, might be from the toes. Take a breath in. And then lower down, either halfway or all the way to the mat. Pressing up to a back bend with your inhale. And releasing to your downward facing dog with your exhale. Take 2 breaths. Look to the top of your mat. Walk, step, float, or hop forward. Halfway lengthen, breathe in. Breathing out to fold, and then rising with the inhale to your tall mountain. Arms come high. Hands to the heart. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, maybe this time you take the arms wide, swan dive down, leading with the heart. Halfway lift and lengthen, inhale. Breathing out, fold, place the palms to the earth, find your plank pose, take time for a breath in, and then find your vinyasa. Exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, back bend. Exhaling, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Look to the top of your mat. Let's make our way there. Halfway lift and lengthen with the inhale. Breathing out to fold. Rising all the way up to stand with your inhale. Exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lengthen, breathe in. Exhale, fold once more. Step back to your plank. Big breath in. Chaturanga. Exhaling halfway down or all the way. Pressing up to back bend with your inhale. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Take 2 breaths. Sigh it out if you like. And let's find stillness here. Take a big breath in and we'll raise the right leg behind. 3-legged dog. Roll through the ankle while you're here. Inhale, raise the heel a little higher. Exhale, step the foot forward. Low lunge. So we'll ground that left knee. And then when you're ready, bring the hands maybe to the thigh first and raise them up. So find length from the crown to the tail. Tuck the tummy, draw the hips forward. And let's start some big arm circles. So bring the arms forward, breathe out. Inhale as you lean back a little bit, circle them back. Exhale, so the torso's moving forward and back a little bit here. Big arm circles with the breath. One more time around. And then bring the hands to the earth and we'll settle the hips back. So lengthen your right leg as you send the hips back. And you can come right low if you like, taking your left hip right back to your left heel as you lengthen your right leg and fold forward. Or you can keep left hip above left knee. So leaning forward, blocks are handy under the hands. Nice long spine. Don't crane the neck, just take your gaze to neutral, maybe down to your shin or towards your foot. We're going to come forward now and transfer weight to that right foot. So tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, and then let's come forward to Warrior 3. You can be supported Warrior 3 with the hands to the earth or blocks. I'm going to hold for one more breath. And then we're going to come all the way up, trying to keep that left leg high. Bring the hands to the heart. And we'll bend the left knee in front of us. Standing staff. And you stay here if you like, or you can lengthen that left leg or breath. And bend it again. We're going to kind of take a seat here, crossing our left ankle over our right knee, finding our standing pigeon pose. So sending breath and awareness to that outer left hip. Hands can be at the heart. You can float them down to ground in the earth. If flying pigeon is part of your practice, you can lean forward and take flight. Come back out of it, so keeping the hands to the heart. Let's step that left foot back, still not touching it down. We're going to reach it all the way back, finding our high lunge. So grounding those left toes, bending richly into that right knee, and then reaching the arms overhead when you're ready. And then let's take the hands to frame the right foot, step back to your plank pose. You can come right into downward dog or take a vinyasa, lowering down with your exhale. Pressing up to your back bend with an inhale. Finding your downward facing dog with your exhale. Take 2 breaths here. Sigh it out if it feels good. And then let's raise the left leg up. We'll rotate through that left ankle as we find strength here in the hamstring and the glute. And we're going to lift the heel a little higher with your inhale. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Soften the right knee. And then we'll rise up here. Arms coming overhead. And we'll start those circles this time backwards. So reaching back, inhaling. Exhaling as you come forward. Inhaling, opening the heart. Reaching the arms back. Exhaling, circling them forward. One more full circle. The next time the arms sweep down, just bring them to the earth. Lengthen your left leg. Send your hips back. Half splits. Let's take another breath here. We'll come forward, grounding into that left foot, and then we'll prepare to come to our warrior 3. So take your time, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and when you're ready, hands come just in front of that left foot, float the right leg up. And we're going to bring the hands to the heart. Start to raise the torso and sweep that right leg forward. Trying to keep balance on the left leg. Bend into the right knee as you come upright. In your standing staff here, maybe taking a breath to lengthen the right leg in front of you. And then bend into the knee. Bend into the left knee as well as you cross your right ankle over that left knee. And sit down here in your standing pigeon. Maybe hands at prayer, thumbs pressing to the sternum. Maybe hands to the earth. To come out, we'll bring the hands to the heart again if they aren't already. Bring the torso high. Come back to that standing staff, right knee bent in front of you. And then reaching back with that right foot, we'll step it way back to a high lunge. Arms coming up. And then we'll bring the hands to the earth. Step back to plank. Meeting in downward dog. Going there right away or taking your vinyasa. Exhaling, lower. Inhaling, press up, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. And then we'll settle to stillness. Raise your right leg high, three-legged dog, breathe in. Exhale, knee towards the nose 2 times. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee towards the nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, step forward here, high lunge. So settle, ground that right foot high on those left toes. Bring the arms up. Just here for a breath. And then we're going to find our warrior 2. So reach forward with your right arm, back with your left arm, pivot on that back foot and ground it. Maybe the blade edge of your left foot is sort of parallel to the back edge of your mat. Gaze over your right fingers, nice strong gaze. And then lengthen your right leg. And we'll find our Trikonasana here. Take time first to lean forward, reach forward with your right hand, and then pivot. Reaching down with your right hand, up with your left, stacking hips, stacking shoulders. Maybe you look up, maybe you find a drishti, a point to focus on the wall ahead of you or the floor to the left. Let's rise back to our warrior 2. So bend into that knee. Release the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, find your humble warrior. So right shoulder comes down towards that right knee, maybe just resting or coming to the inside of your right knee, and arms can rise. You might rest on your back. Let your head be heavy. Use your core strength here. Rise back up to warrior 2. We're going to transition to our high lunge again. So bring your arms forward, torso faces forward, pivot on that back foot. So you're high on the left toes. We're going to step forward here once more to that standing staff. So hands to the heart, knee bent in front of you, that left knee raised. And then bring the knees to meet. So left knee still bent, but knees are beside each other. Reach back with your left hand here, or your strap. You can have a loop on your strap to loop around the top of your left foot. We're just setting up to come into our dancer's pose here. So take time to grab a strap if you need one. They definitely come in handy for this pose. So you just make a loop there and place it around the top of your foot. And then when you're ready, you can reach your right arm forward and start to hinge. You don't have to come too far forward. Lean forward, reach forward. And at the same time, pressing that foot into the hand and lifting the foot. And if you come out of it, no big deal. I'm just practicing. Take another breath in your dancer pose. And then release. Bring those hands back to the heart. Come back to your staff pose, standing staff, knees raised. We're going to step back once more to that high lunge. So nice and slowly with control, reach that left leg way back and reach the arms high. Exhale, we'll bring the hands down, frame the foot, step back to your plank. Take time for an inhale. You can be in down dog or take a vinyasa. Tipping forward, lowering down, exhale. Inhale, back bend. Breathing out to find your downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. And then we'll raise the left leg up high. As you breathe out, draw your knee towards your chin or your nose. Inhale, back to that 3-legged dog. Exhale, one more time, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And on your exhale, stepping forward, finding high lunge. So just take time to find that grounded stance. And when you're ready, hands can leave the floor and rise up overhead. Take time for a breath here. Settle the shoulders away from the ears. And let's find our warrior two. Looking over your left fingertips, strong gaze, deep bend in that left knee, grounding the right foot as well as the left. And then let's lengthen the left leg, setting up for our Trikonasana here. Reach the left hand forward first, and then hinge at the hips, reaching your left hand down, maybe a block under those fingers, right hand high. Return to your warrior two, bending into your left knee, bringing the arms back up, reaching forward and back. And then let's release the hands behind the low back. Interlace the fingers, draw a breath in and squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, coming forward, left shoulder towards your left knee. Arms resting or rising, head is heavy, humble warrior. Use your core here, engagement, rising up, warrior two. And let's find our high lunge. So come up high on those right toes. Settle in here for a breath. And we'll come forward to our standing staff. So transfer weight to your left foot, push off with those right toes. Bring your right knee up. Standing staff for a moment. And then bring your right knee to meet your left. Keep the right knee bent still. And then using your strap, the loop of your strap or your hand, make connection with the top of the left foot. When you feel you're ready, you can hinge forward, lean forward, hinging. Reaching with that left hand, raising the right leg this time. And then slowly releasing with control, coming back to that standing staff, hands to the heart, knee bent, right knee bent in front of you. We'll prepare to step back, last high lunge. Step way back, arms high. And we'll take our last vinyasa or just meet in downward facing dog. So hands frame the left foot, step back to your plank or down dog. Vinyasa if you want, lowering down, rising up with the inhale, downward facing dog with the exhale. Sigh it out. Let's lower to the knees here, and then you can roll over onto one hip, bringing the legs in front of you, or cross the ankles and sit back. Staff pose, legs lengthened in front. I'll take another forward fold here before we come to lying down. So just walk the hands forward. Find some length in the spine. If you have a strap handy, you can place it around the balls of the feet to help you keep length in the spine here. Or you can make this just more passive as we slow right down, preparing for our Shavasana. Take 2 more nice full breaths here. Rise back up and we'll come to lying down. So I like to make this last little bit of work for the abdominals. You can do the same if you like, bending your knees. And reaching forward with your hands, just unwinding the spine and slowly lowering down, slower than you want to go. Coming all the way down onto your mat, bringing your knees into your chest, finding a little rock side to side. And we're going to take a supine twist. So whatever your favorite version of supine twist is, you can do that. You can keep the knees stacked, let them fall together to the right, looking over to the left. You can lengthen your right leg. Use your right hand to help draw your left knee over to the right. Or you could find more of a bind where you're crossing the left thigh over the right before twisting. So settling in here for a nice 3 or 4 nice full, slow, long breaths. Creating some length there between your left shoulder blade, which is drawing towards the earth, and your left knee. Take time for another breath or 2 here, whatever you like. When you're ready, you can make your way to your twist on the other side. Another couple of breaths here. Just unwind slowly, find that neutral spine again. And if there's anything that we didn't cover or anything that your body's asking for right now, you can come into that posture before Shavasana, or you can get right into your Shavasana, whatever you like. So maybe that's a plow pose or shoulder stand or happy baby or legs up or a supported bridge or a bridge. Take time for whatever you need. And then settling into whatever posture you'd like to take for your final rest. Maybe grabbing a sweater, some socks, or a blanket to cozy up with on this chilly day as the body temperature tends to drop a little bit during Shavasana. Once you find that place of ease and rest, where you can restore a little bit, soften the brow, the muscles, those tiny little muscles behind and around your eyes. Soften the cheeks and the jaw. Just let all expression fall away from the face. Relax the neck and the shoulders and soften all the way down to the toes. And let the spaciousness of your mind just match that softness of the body. Allow yourself to just rest here and be. you find a little more time in your Shavasana today, please remain. You worked hard today, just take time if you have it. If you're ready to begin to release, then you can just intuitively find any movements that feel gentle to reawaken. And if you do choose to come to a seated posture to close your practice, you can just roll to one side and press your way up. And from that seated posture, if you happen to be with me there, we'll take a breath in, reaching the arms wide and high. Gaze up to your palms, and then bring the palms down to the heart with the exhale, lowering your gaze, taking a final moment here to go inward and just take a thought just for you, maybe recalling your intention or maybe going to something positive, gracious, or hopeful, anything that resounds. Thanks everybody for being here today. So enjoyed practicing with you. Thanks for sharing your energy. I hope you have a great weekend. Much peace. Namaste.